For the past week, you may have seen your barista at Starbucks, right, race together on your coffee cup. That part of this campaign will end tomorrow as planned, but the broader Race Together initiative by the coffee giant will continue. The whole point here, they say, is to encourage employees to talk about race with customers, with each other. And it's an idea that sparked backlash from some online. It was lauded by others. And this week, I spoke with Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, about why he did this.
This is an issue I brought into the boardroom over the last few quarters. And to the board's credit, they understood that this is an issue facing the country, not only people of color, but the entire country, and perhaps we could have a positive effect. But certainly there were people, friends of mine and certain people at Starbucks who felt that this is not an issue that we should engage in, and I rejected that. I rejected that because if we all individually and collectively continue to be a bystander on something that is dividing the nation, where is this headed?
Brand expert Martha Pease joins me now. She's CEO of Demandworks. Her new book is Think Round. Thanks for being here. What's your take on whether or not Starbucks is a better brand now, a week after launching this? It's clearly the most hot-button topic that they have touched, and they've taken a position on gay marriage, on gun rights, but this really seemed to spark huge debate.
Well, a week into this, I think they're probably slightly better off as a brand.
Why?
Well, I think they really did. He did a couple things right, and they came out in your discussion with him as well. One is he communicated that the company cares, and that the company really has a value system that's based on empathy and understanding. And I think that's important. That puts Starbucks into kind of a class with very few other companies. So that made a difference for the brand, and I think people will come away from this whole event with a feeling that Starbucks has a lot of empathy toward everyone involved with their brand and really toward America. I think the other thing that happened that's probably good for the brand is that this issue of race and what race means to Americans and the issues surrounding race is a very relevant conversation for Americans to be having. And I think it was important that a brand actually step into what they believe and elevate the issue and put it out there for discussion.
Look, it's something that most CEOs wouldn't even touch. No way, no how. I spent time at Starbucks across the city talking to folks about it. Some people loved it. Some people said, this is not the right venue. This is not the place to have the conversation. What do you make about those people who say, and some have even said that this sort of, diminishes it to think that you can solve it this way. Howard Schultz told me, I'm not trying to solve it, but I want us to talk about it.
Right. And I think the venue is the issue. I think there are so many great assets that the company can bring to helping have a conversation like this. The context for it was probably a misjudgment, putting this into the middle of their commerce, into the middle of their store, and inserting this conversation into the world of their customers is probably not the place to
take it forward. I know they're having more of these town hall meetings across the country, internally at Starbucks. What should be sort of the next step in your opinion?
Well, the first thing that they should do that they didn't do is listen to their customers. Find out from their customers really how they want to be engaged in this conversation and what the role is of Starbucks, where there is a role for Starbucks to play in engaging people in this conversation. I think context is the number 2 issue. Find where it's the right place to play. And it may be that separating this from Starbucks, the Starbucks Race Together Foundation, not unlike the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that elevated public health and world health, that the Race Together Foundation is a way to treat this issue and bring all the assets of Starbucks and their culture to this, but make it not an intrusive part of the commerce that a customer expects to have with Starbucks.
Got it.
And I also think that the town halls are important. And, a strategic partner, like a media partner like CNN, who could help.
They partnered with USA Today.
Exactly.
So there's this big insert with actually fascinating graphics about sort of race in this country from the 1960s until today that people should take a look at. But it's interesting. It was a risk and people reacted differently. It sounds like you think it's a win overall. So Martha Pease, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good to have you on. Congrats on the new book as well.